Oh, Superman, you little bitch. Hello! And that was awkward for all you Superman fans. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back, actually. I haven't done these in a while. I am the Comic Knight. I don't know why I did that. My name's not on the shirt. It's Daredevil. Which, by the way, Season 2, I gotta give you guys a review for that one. But for right now, this is Comic Knight giving you a review of Batman v Superman. Oh my goodness. I cannot tell you how long I've waited for this movie. It's freaking amazing that it's actually on the big screen. I'm going to give you my review, but this is just my hype, so I'm just going to let it out to you. I've wanted to see this ever since I saw the animated feature, ever since I read the comic book, which is The Dark Knight Returns. I know for some reason Zack Snyder claimed that it's not supposed to be The Dark Knight Returns exactly, but most of the elements came from the book itself. So most reviews, you get the negatives and then the positives. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the negatives first. Okay, so first of all, there's been a lot of controversy to this film. Okay, a lot of people are saying it's terrible. A lot of people are saying it's bad. A lot of people say it's good or it's the best comic book movie ever. That is actually arguable. But I do agree that, first and foremost, I love this movie. I did love this movie. I've already seen it twice. I want to see it a third time before I have to go back to college. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so first the negatives. It was sloppy. Okay, it's not that fault is not of the directors. Okay, Zack Snyder, I'll get to you in a minute, but whoever edited the movie and the transitions should be fired. Okay, because the outcome of the movie should have been a lot better, because I felt like I was watching multiple movies. Like first I felt like I was watching a Batman movie. Second, I felt like I was watching a freaking Superman, and then I was watching Wonder Woman. And so I'm sitting here like, the stories don't really connect, you know? Like, I mean, I got it, of course. Like, comic fans are going to get it, which is a positive. But what I'm saying is that the transitions and everything, as in the editing format, just could have been so much better. Okay, too little development. I felt that, again, like, there were a lot of characters that didn't really get that much, like, screen time. Like, I loved Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm really just going to go back and forth with the positives. This is a positive. Ben Affleck, to me, is my favorite Batman so far, okay? I'll get to reasons why, but mostly because he didn't sound like he had freaking throat cancer. I mean, he did have, like, the groggy kind of growl voice, but it wasn't too much like Bale's. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I just felt like there was a lot that they could have done more. Instead of just, like, with the origin, instead of with all that, I just felt like Wonder Woman should have had more time. Like, there was too little Wonder Woman, in my opinion. And Superman was just the Man of Steel Superman, and I just really wanted a different interpretation in this movie. But, hey, you know what? I still like Zack Snyder, but I just feel like some of his comic accuracy is very questionable. I mean, I know there's a few comics where he's bad, you know, like Red Sun or freaking Injustice. But what a lot of people recognize Superman as is, like, he's supposed to be like the beacon of happiness and hope. Like, he's supposed to be the good guy, like the overall good guy. But I just feel like he's making Superman kind of like a Batman, which is weird. But other than that, I was a fan of Man of Steel. I do like it, but at the same time, like, I just wish, I mean, maybe he's gonna do that later, and maybe he's just doing something differently with Superman. I mean, so far I don't really like it, but it's okay. And Lex Luthor, I'm going to be honest with you guys, at first, I cringed. Every time I saw Luthor and his little Joker knockoff kind of persona, I cringed. I did. But, like, more and more later, I was like, okay, well, he's going for a very young Lex Luthor. Very young, like, Lex Luthor was a sociopath, and he was very, very weird. Very energetic, all over, twitchy, very twitchy. So, what I'm saying is that there's a lot of, I have to question Zack Snyder's comic accuracy. Like, I really think that he should read more comics rather than just a few, because there are some interpretations where he's correct. But most of the majority interpretations, like, I read Action Comics, and I've seen Lex Luthor, and I've seen how he is, and I've seen how Superman is. And I mean, like, I just think that Zack Snyder should take a different direction to Superman. That's all I'm saying. And then, again, the trailers did give too much. It did. Basically, if you did watch the trailers, you've seen a majority of the movie. But all I'm saying is you haven't seen anything too. Okay, like, that's very... I just wish the Doomsday trailer didn't exist, okay? That just gave too much away. Like, I'm saying, like, Doomsday's in the movie, and you're like, why? Like, Seriously, I even had a feeling what was gonna happen as soon as they, spoilers, as soon as they killed Superman. I knew what was gonna happen. I knew it. But like, I didn't want to know it. Like, I didn't want to admit that that's exactly the direction they were gonna take. And I was so like, I cried. I did cry when Superman died. I saw it coming, but I cried anyway because I love Superman. I don't love him as much as Batman, but I do like Superman. I do. Like, the only thing I don't like is the fact that he's basically unkillable and he's like the most powerful being in the comics. I know that's arguable, but he basically is. He just doesn't die. And that's the only thing that pisses me off about him. Other than that, I really like Superman. I do. Okay, here are the positives. Oh, I can't wait to get to this. This is a comic book movie. This is a movie where comic book fans can come together and say, that's from the comics. That's what comic book movies are supposed to be. They're accurate. They're supposed to be straight out of it. But the thing is, most movies that we've gotten aren't really that accurate. Like, they just kind of put something together just for the kids. Like, Marvel movies are just mainly for the children audience because Disney's making Marvel. It's bitch, as I've said before. Most of the Marvel stuff is inaccurate, but at the same time, it's very enjoyable. I do like Marvel movies. I love Marvel movies. I'll always watch Marvel movies. But there's a lot of problems. Like, Civil War isn't gonna be Civil War. Like I said, I'm very, very underwhelmed at this movie. Because this isn't Civil War, it's shit, okay? It's not a war. It's a battle, okay? It's a tiny little battle that's probably gonna end, like, really fast. But what's cool about Batman vs. Superman is that it's straight from the comics. Everything. Freaking Ben Affleck's Batman is the most comically accurate Batman we've ever had. He gives a very enticing Bruce Wayne that's a detective. Like, he's an actual detective, and he goes out and he's just really cool and suave when he goes to get information and evidence. I know there are some questionable scenes where he doesn't really seem like the world's greatest detective, but I think they're building up to that. I think he was a real good detective. I really do. And so, what was cool is that his Dark Knight Returns is the big bat on his chest is just like from the Dark Knight Returns. And he's dark and he's gritty and he kills people, okay? In the comics, he does kill people. He shoots a mutant in the head with a machine gun if you haven't, read the comic or seen the animated movie. But there is a reason behind why he does kill, and I'll get to that in a minute. There's a lot of setup. There's a lot of setup to Injustice, Darkseid, Flashpoint, the Red Hood, Death in the Family. There's just so much build to it, and I loved every part of it. I loved every scene where it was just like I know a lot of people didn't like the Flash scene. I loved it. I really did. I was like, oh, cool. I didn't like the bullet head thing. I was like, what is he wearing? He looked like the Red Hood, but it kind of grew on to me until the second time. Like, I saw more, and I was just like, okay, cool. So we went back to warn him that Superman's going to go batshit when Lois dies. That's exactly what happens in the Injustice storyline. Freaking Superman basically becomes Joseph Stalin or Hitler and takes over the entire Earth because of the death of Lois Lane. Even though he's the one who caused it, but it was a hallucinogen given to him by Joker. So he was hypnotized into destroying Metropolis and Lois and his unborn son. So, yeah, they were building a lot to Injustice. Okay. Only fans will get it. I see a line that is crossed off in the DC fanboy universe. Basically, people who don't read the comics do not like this movie or do like this movie. And then there are people who do read the comics that do not like this movie or like this movie. I read comics and I like this movie. I do. I really do. And so what it does is that it's finally given way to who reads comics and who doesn't. And I love that. I'm a big fan of that. Like, that's awesome because now I know who does read comics. When I first went to go see it with my girlfriend, I actually met some people that read comics, and I just went off. Like, I hit it off so well with them. I wish I got their information. They would have been so cool to have on the show. But it was really cool to see the people who read comics and the people who don't. Like, the people I know that don't read the comics, like, they're like, oh, I didn't like it. I was like, why is Batman fighting Superman? And I'm like, ugh. I mean, I know there's no reason for them to fight, but they're heroes. But if you read the comics, there is a reason why. It's just like they don't get it because they were born in like 70s or the 40s, and they're just like, why are they fighting? But they don't really pay attention to it because they don't care. But I care because I've seen this battle. I know how it's going to end. And I knew it was going to end with a certain person on top with a spear pointed at, spoilers, the Man of Steel. That's right, Batman wins, baby. I knew it. I was repping my team. By the way, this is not Batman. This is the Red Hood, which I'm a total big fan of the Red Hood. And I'll get to that right now. A lot of lines and sequences straight from the comics. It was really cool. It was really cool to see that, especially the parademons. The parademons coming out of the sky and the Omega sign on the ground. I was like, damn! Like, I was like, yes, apocalypse! It's awesome! Darkseid is coming. So yeah, that just got me so hyped. Yeah, in the beginning of the video, you'll see all my faces, and you'll see why, and when you see the movie. But I'm already gonna tell you that there's a lot of spoilers in this video. So what's cool is that Wonder Woman was probably the best, one of the best parts, one of the best highlights. Because as soon as she came down, she was like, Wonder Woman, and then freaking Doomsday was like, her, and it was awesome because I was like, yes, she has the outfit, she's gonna battle. And then when he hits her and she just smiles, I was like, it's about to go down. Like, it was amazing. And I thought it was very interesting that they had the Dark Knight Returns roles reversed. I mean, rather than Batman be the bad guy in the Dark Knight Returns, Batman comes back out of retirement and he's a bad guy because he does things that the government doesn't agree with. He does kill people now. So the government hired Superman, or Superman was an agent of the government, to take down Batman. In this movie, the roles are reversed, which is actually, to me, in my opinion, I'm like, that's very interesting. Like, that's really cool. And, like, I think it is more of a realistic thing because Batman's on the human side. But Superman is someone who came out of the sky with all the power and thinking... One of the greatest moments, in my opinion, in the movie was when he says, must there be a Superman? And that hit me, like, I think I felt my heart kind of, like, drop for a bit because, like, it made me, like... I felt like I was really in the movie watching that. Like, I was like, that is an excellent question. That is a beautiful question. Must there be a Superman? But he's already here. And the fact that everyone's kind of pissed about it makes sense. I mean, would you want an alien that can probably destroy the world, like saving children? Like, this is it's a controversial question because some people do, some people don't. Because that's what I think. Like, Zack Snyder's interpretation of Superman makes him look like a bad guy. And that's why nobody likes him. But, you know, the Christopher Reeve Superman, that's when everyone's like, yeah, like, he saves the world, he fights Zod, he doesn't kneel before Zod. But, yeah, so, like, when he snaps his neck and he pretty much destroys all of Metropolis, that's when people are like, motherfucker, you're gonna destroy our city like that? Okay, I got you. We're gonna put politics in this bitch, and you're going down. You're going down, Kal-El. You're going down. So, yeah, that's what I think is really cool about the movie. Overall, I'd probably give the movie 8.5. But, you know, after second viewing, 9. Definitely after the second viewing, 9. Because there's more stuff that I saw. I'm going to get to the second part of what I saw and what I will give you guys more information about that. And more Easter eggs, since you probably came to this video not really knowing, like, if you come to this video thinking that I have no idea what's going on, I want to watch this to see what's going on, well, that's in part 2. So, thank you guys for watching. I love you guys, and thank you for watching Batman vs. Superman. If you want to watch it, if you haven't, I really recommend it, whether or not you're a comic fan. I want to hear your opinion. Comment whatever. If you want me to review a comic, if you want me to talk to you about something, if you want to debate, let's do it. I will have you on the show. We will debate. I will try to have as many comic debates as I can. I'm not going to be angry with it. I love arguments. But the thing is, like, I'm going to start getting more ideas. I'm going to start doing more on the show. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Keep on reading, nerds.